Incidentally, playing his 54th game for England this afternoon, Emlyn. And Bruce Rioch. 20 caps. And in fact, he's had 13 games at Hampden Park as Bruce. He's got a good record here. He's won 11 of them and drawn 2. So while Bruce Rioch, the number 6 for Scotland, has played here, Scotland have never been beaten. Well, Ray Clemence, that was a desperate moment here when Kenny Dalglish, now his teammate at Liverpool, beat him from something like 5 or 6 yards. The ball just squirting between his legs and into the back of the English net 2 years ago. But he's a fairly solid guy. He'll not let that worry him a great deal. So we're almost set for what most Scottish football fans is the battle of the year. And certainly the newspapers up here today, it was their whole front page, their whole back page, about 8 pages of supplement in the middle. I think it's only when you come north of the border you realise just how much these games mean to Scottish football fans. It's Joe Jordan. Of course, the pressure is on him, knowing that Derek Johnstone, with some 40 goals this season and a goal in each of the last 2 games for Scotland, is waiting on the substitutes bench. No greater incentive than that. So it's going to be England who will kick off, with Trevor Francis. The 96th game between these 2 old enemies, and for Scotland such an important one today. And Willie Johnstone, England a little casual there from that kick-off, and Willie Johnstone read that well and got in quickly. Well, is it going to be a good early decisive break for Scotland? No, it's Peter Barnes. They've lost it there, though. Now it's Trevor Francis. Curling the ball here towards Coppell. A good interception, though, by Donachie. And Jordan up well again for Scotland. Donachie just dinking it inside there. Look at the space for Dalglish. And Wilkins, the young man, away, but not very well, because Jordan got the better of him. Hartford to Jordan. Scotland moving well in these opening seconds, and the ball going out of play for English throw. England, who've not beaten Scotland since 1975, mind you, they did it in style then, a 5-1 at Wembley. Phil Neal leaving the throw to Tony Curry. Good jump there by Forsyth, who got a knock in the back there as he challenged Paul Mariner, and the free kick given to Scotland. Here's Willie Johnstone. Now, can he trick Coppell? It's a corner for Scotland. Willie Johnston's there, but Masson has come across as well. And Clemence wanting to bring a bit of order in these opening minutes to the English defence. Johnstone, Masson, Donachie. Burns just trying to dink it on, and I think that ball is going to go out of play for an English goal kick. Kenny Dalglish. Barnes. No messing about there by Masson. He was quickly in there to snuff out any hope that Barnes might have had of making progress for England. Ball still in play. Masson guiding it in there towards Jordan, and Phil Neal allowing it to go through. Clemence took a thump from Willie Johnstone, and England get a free kick. A tigerish start then by Scotland, and Ray Wilkins on the ball now for England. Played there forward towards Francis, but Burns was having none of it. An England throw, Phil Neal with it. Actually the first time England have been in the Scottish half of the field. Coppell playing it through, Mariner after it. Forsyth is right there with him. The free kick already taken. Forsyth. Now Masson. Hartford. A foul by Wilkins that time on Hartford. The referee very quickly stamping on anything that even sniffs of physical contact. Donachie, Masson. More urgency about Masson in this game than in the last few. Scotland knowing that it's got to be a good performance today. Mariner, shoved from behind by Forsyth. Jackie.
I hope the referee's not going to continue like this. He's penalising every little thing that's happened so far. He's not allowed any contact or any body checking or any sort of physical contact at all. I hope he's only doing it in the opening seconds to let the game settle down, because if he continues like this, it's going to be a whistle day.
Hughes putting it forward now. Too high for Francis, but not for Kenny Burns. Hughes playing it for Watson, who's had a good home international for England. Poking it forward for Wilkins, playing it gently for Neal. Forward again for Wilkins. Good piece of interpassing now by England. The young Chelsea captain making his run, Curry supporting him, swerving that ball out beautifully now for Peter Barnes. On this time for Trevor Francis. And the cross coming in, and Wilkins was right on the end of it, but couldn't quite get the contact he wanted. It looked very much as though he was pushed as he went in for it. But a really beautiful flowing move there by England. The cross coming in.
Good header by Wilkins. It was unfortunate that he was pushed a little bit. It was a good chance that.
Against him, the whistle again. Dalglish trying to turn with it. Curry. Oh, what a beautiful ball by Curry. Now for Peter Barnes, being chased by Kennedy. Curry supporting him. Now can Curry get past Masson? Help from Francis. Played for Coppell, and in first time there. Mariner shielding his eyes from the sun for a moment. Mills really jumping at that ball, and a free kick given well. That's an extraordinary decision. And England have taken advantage of it with a quick free kick. Hartford hurdling that challenge from Coppell, finding Willie Johnston. Good fast open game at the moment as Johnston gets past Neal, plays it in there. Oh, and it might come for Hartford yet. And Clemence hits off the crossbar, and in the end it's put behind by McMills, and Ray Clemence was all over the place there.
He lost that ball a little bit in the air, Clemence. The cross by Willie just flicked on here, was read well by Emlyn Hughes, but the ricochet just left him a little bit. He didn't know where the ball had gone at all, and he was very fortunate to hit the crossbar, especially with those square ones. If it had been a foot further forward, it would have dropped in the net.
Waiting for the ball to come back for Scotland to take the corner. There's Kenny Dalglish. It could be that Ray Clemence, Jack, might have a little bit of a phobia about Hampden Park at the moment.
He's too classic goalkeeper for that. Ray's got what goalkeepers like. He's done something very good early in the game. That'll put him on his game now. He needed something like that just to shift his adrenaline and get him moving. He's done that now.
Right, here's the Scottish corner. Floated in again. Oh, my word! It very nearly went in from Kenny Burns, and Clemence again really wasn't at his best. Here's the corner, Jack.
Shows you how goalkeepers can make liars of you. It was his ball all the way here, and he was very, very slack for it. In fact, Kenny Burns was very unlucky that that ball didn't go in the net. How it went across, I don't know. Come on, Ray.
Burns watching Mariner. And Clemence getting the ball away. A chance maybe to calm his nerve a little, but Scotland trying to come forward again with Masson. This time Wilkins. Oh, can't do that. A foul by Hartford on Ray Wilkins and a free kick for England.
I don't think I've ever seen a Scottish team start an international with quite this determination. Every player's determined that he's going to win every ball.
Now here's Mills. So much then for the thought that they might have one eye on Argentina. They have got two eyes firmly fixed on England at the moment. Here's Curry for England, though, and Peter Barnes. Well, he ran one, but he couldn't run two. Masson supporting Kennedy well there for Scotland, and a throw for England. Curry with it. Francis couldn't get to it. Mariner might. Whistle's gone again. Free kick to Scotland. Alan Ruff, the long kick forward. Hughes struggling to get in there. Watson brought down by Jordan. Another free kick. It's interesting, as you say, Jack, to see their determination, but is this a determination that they can take into Argentina? Will they be allowed to get away with some of the things maybe that they're trying to get away with?
Well, they've got away with that. That was a bad tackle by Joe there, and Asa Hartford got away with one a little bit earlier without being really too badly talked to by the referee. Just a little bit too hard at the moment, the Scottish. I keep saying Scots, I don't like it, you know.
Wilkins trying to calm things down. Mills. Scythe really in on the back of Francis. Coppell with Donachie snapping at him. Neil trying to push it forward again. And here's Steve Coppell for England. Played inside nicely for Wilkins. But that'll be chipped far too close to Alan Ruff. Masson. Scythe. Stopped by Mariner. Now Curry taking it up with him, but Mariner now playing it short for Trevor Francis. Barnes in space on the far side. Francis running back into trouble, but Wilkins was available, and now it's Barnes. He's getting around Kennedy again, but Ruff is there. Mills winning that one. Curry to Wilkins. Mariner, oh my word, that was a shunt in the back from Kenny Burns, and another free kick to England. Curry playing it towards Francis. Kenny Burns getting there, and the ball in fact coming off the England number 8. A goal kick to Scotland. Jack.
It's interesting to see that Barnes has gone away over on the left-hand side again, and he's playing up the line as he did in the first half against Wales when he was so effective. I like to see him out there. He gives an extra added width to the team. Otherwise, they're playing as we expected, and there's not a great deal of closing down and tightness in midfield yet.
Neil back to Clemence. Donachie, Johnston, Donachie this time for Asa Hartford. Still in play. Oh, and that pass might be a little short. No, Clemence is there before Joe Jordan. There wasn't a lot in it. Wilkins to Francis. Offside against Mariner. The Scots had come forward well then. "13 minutes gone, no score." Burns. Now Watson. Coppell. Come for Willie Johnston. Nice back healer. The crowd enjoyed that. And a Scottish throw. Dalglish, beautiful turner. Come for Masson and Rioch. And Rioch, well, not the most popular decision of the afternoon there from Mr. Conrath. English free kick. It's now with Mariner. Another free kick to England. A foul this time by Kenny Burns. Wilkins will take it. Watson's come up there as well. Too high for Mariner. Now here's Peter Barnes on the edge of that Scottish area. Curry type shot, but this time the ball didn't fall properly for him. A goal kick to Scotland.
But it's nice to see Curry having a little goal from there, because it was a ball that was bobbling a little bit, and he might have just caught it right. But we need to shoot from there in these games.
In fact, the English midfield pair of Wilkins and Curry getting through a lot of work in these early stages.
Well, they're going to have to do, because I think Asa Hartford's just got a little bit too much pace for Wilkins, and he's going to have to work very hard at him. Because if he can stop him, that means that Johnson isn't going to get the service down the left-hand side that the Scottish team need. And he's got a job to do, Wilkins, and I'm a bit wondering whether he can do it or not, because he does like a little bit of pace.
And here's Rioch taking it on, brought down on the edge of the box by Mills, and a free kick to Scotland. England, in no small measure, really, contributing to their own problems there. And Rioch, that is a nasty-looking sign.
At this stage of the game, with the Scotch...
Here we are, Jack.
Yes, well, they give the ball away, England, there, but it was a bad foul on Rioch, actually. I think he would have been picked up, but he was going into a dangerous position. But England, playing football the way they are, this lapsadaisical stuff across the back at this stage, when the Scottish are really on top of the game and chasing everything, is very dangerous, and they've given the ball away, and those, especially in the left-back positions, several times in this game already, and I hope Mick Mills starts thinking about serving the ball up the line a little bit more for Barnes. He seems to want to play the ball inside all the time.
Right, Rioch is okay. We've got a free kick for Scotland, which Masson, a beautiful accurate chipper there towards Joe Jordan. Goal kick. A little chip from Masson.
Joe will be the target man on almost every Scottish free kick, because he moves for these balls, and they'll try and hit him in the air. Fortunately, we've got two big lads in Dave Watson and Hughes to handle him today, but he will cause the Peruvians in the first game a lot of problems if he plays.
Curry right up. Dalglish nodding it on. It'll find Hartford, who moved onto that with a lot of pace and did just the thing that he was meant to do, find Willie Johnston. Played on for Hartford, did beautifully again. Oh, that was a very nice bit of Scottish build-up there. And we are playing around too much on the edge of that English box, their own box are England, and that was Wilkins, and it's a cross there, just nodded off by Dave Watson. as Joe Jordan came in, and again England contributing to their own troubles. Very quickly, here comes the corner now. Nice bit of play that. And the corner now coming to be taken by Scotland. And Kenny Burns winning it in the air in spite of the attentions of Dave Watson, and it's another corner for Scotland. Played to Donachie. Putting that on again. Masson chipping it in again there. Hartford with the header. My word, it was a foot wide, no more. He got some power on that header, did Hartford.
That's the best header I've ever seen Asa Hartford produce. I didn't know he could head a ball like that, but it shows the determination in the Scottish team to get at this ball and to give it something. And he really did head that one. He was unlucky, it only went wide as well.
Caught on the back of the leg by Rioch. A free kick for England. It seems at the moment an England side without quite the same desire to do the right things and win this game as Scotland have at the moment, and Scotland coming forward once more, but stopped that time by Phil Neal. That's again a pass across the back there that put Mills in a bit of trouble. That's a throw to Scotland. Which Rioch will take. Nice wide shot there, showing that the pitch is in tremendous condition here. Jordan playing it back now. Dalglish.
Again, that was this England back four, playing balls into the midfield and knocking them at strange paces. And the Scottish midfield are really winning this game at the moment. They're closing up tight on everyone. And they've won the battle up to now. And unless the English midfield can start really competing and getting some sort of a service from the back four, we're going to be in trouble in this game.
Mariner. It's Watson. Francis couldn't get there, Rioch could. Hartford, who seems to be everywhere at the moment, spraying out this pass for Willie Johnston, stopped though by Phil Neal. Donachie, Hartford. That could be a nice little ball, except that it's just played a little too firmly, and Hughes was able to shepherd it over before Willie Johnston could do anything about it.
An England team like this, with no real competitors across the midfield, no real ball winner. They lack that. They need a Nobby Styles in there somewhere. Someone to go and shake people, make them look where they're going, what's happening behind them, and generally put people under pressure. The England midfield aren't doing that at the moment.
So that's the message for Mr. Wilkins and Mr. Curry. Here's Wilkins now. But it's Hartford who wins it, who strikes it out there for Donachie. And that's a throw for Scotland. Versus Watson, and in fact there was a foul there, I think in the first place a handball by Jordan, and then he crashed into Emlyn Hughes after that.
Well, that is what Joe Jordan's all about. He goes in bravely, gets a ricochet off an arm and gets away with the handball. Ball goes on and finishes up going after it and hurting Emlyn Hughes.
Here we are again. In fact, his feet were very high there, dangerously high.
It was, but the ball was very high, and Emlyn's foot was very high as well. So you could say, well, Joe really did go for the ball.
And Brian Greenough is warming up for England. Well, Emlyn looks all right. And England get the free kick. Just over halfway through the first half, Mariner. Well, that's a half mistake there by big Tom Forsyth, but he made the most of it, got away with it. And then Kennedy makes a mistake, and now it's Coppell with a shot, saved well though by Ruff. Coppell suddenly springing up on that far side.
We've talked about this sort of thing, hustling him. He got the ball, Coppell, but watch when he gets a shot at this angle and the goalkeeper narrows it. If that ball had been played across the face of the goals, there's Mariner coming into a beautiful position.
Meanwhile, another free kick to England. Dalglish. And the long ball played forward by Stuart Kennedy. No trouble there for Ray Clemence. Mills sending Francis on his way. That might have been beautifully weighted. Yes, it was, but Kenny Burns is waiting there. A lot of composure. Good skill. Well, England let that go, and Jordan was in behind them. Dave Watson is doing his best to recover it. Played back again, but the whistle had gone. An indirect free kick inside the penalty area. So we'll see what happens to this one, and I think after we've seen it, I think Jack wants to make a comment about it. Have a quick word, Jack.
It's just that Joe appeared to lose the ball in the air there and finished up pushing Dave Watson and being given a free kick for obstruction, which I thought was totally unfair. It should have been the other way. Joe was the one who lost sight of the ball.
No, Masson with the free kick, played short now, and Hartford hit it, and England got it away. Forsyth, that's a throw to England. That one by Phil Neal, falling nicely for Rioch. Onto that left foot. It does let them fly. It hit Dave Watson. It goes back by way of Emlyn Hughes to Ray Clemence. But it certainly hasn't been a happy opening 25 minutes for England. Still no score, though. Played on for Hartford. Getting in behind that English defence again, and Hartford is looking in tremendous form, Jack.
Hartford is, but it's Joe that made it. I mean, Joe Jordan won the first ball, let it knocked on, and then it was played on again to Hartford, who's getting up into these positions on that left-hand side where he can get in on goals. Like I say, the England midfield have not picked him up at all, and he's caused all sorts of problems for England, and one of them have got to close him down a little bit.
Now Rioch. Jordan. Rioch going through that challenge, beating Emlyn Hughes, but that'll be too close to Wilkins. Played out, streaming a lovely ball out to the left now for Francis to get underway. Curry. Wilkins. Goal kick.
I don't like the combination of Mariner and Francis up front. They tend to get played too far apart and never seem to help each other at all. I'd much prefer to see Mariner being the one that takes the two centre-backs on and let Francis come away into midfield. He doesn't look a player at all up there.
Free kick, a foul by Hughes, this time on Hartford and Dalglish. And here's Willie Johnston. Oh, through the legs of Neil. Now Hartford. A foul again on Dalglish by his Liverpool teammate Emlyn Hughes. Both of them incidentally making their 54th international appearance today. Dalglish is at the moment a little happier than Emlyn Hughes, although it's still scoreless, but Scotland having much the better of this opening half hour. As Hartford now floats in another free kick. Jordan was up there again, but England got it away. Kennedy. And the cross in low, and Mariner not getting it away. Hartford trying to turn it back.
Have we seen Tony Curry in this game yet? I haven't seen him on the ball or involved more than twice in the first, what is it, 20 minutes of the game?
No, we've had 30, Jack. Mariner.
Well, Francis is after this one. The
Slightest Scottish mistake and it could be trouble, but there was none there as Forsyth found Alan Rough. Mariner. And now Barnes. Donachie in just a little too quickly there. Now can Barnes? No, he can't, because Donachie came back and made the recovery for Scotland, and the ball coming out to Willie Johnston. He's done nothing much with that. Curry trying to get up there. And, well, that's a curious decision again. But it gives England a free kick. And not taken from the right place. Now it is. Phil Neal and Tony Curry are over it. Peter Barnes is up there in the box. Curry lazily putting that ball in there. Watson was trying to get in there. A throw to England. Curry throwing it a bit longer now. Can Barnes get in behind Donachie? No, there was a bit of pushing there by Peter Barnes. Jackie?
I wish this referee would let something happen. He's penalising people for absolutely nothing. Two people pushing at the same time, and he's penalising one or the other. He's got to start letting a few things go, but this game's going to stop still.
So 32 minutes gone. Scotland 0, England 0. Forsyth. Burns. Donachie. Scythe. Masson. And now Wilkins. It really gave Coppell no chance. And the Scots are up in arms again about that refereeing decision from Mr. Conrath, giving England another free kick.
Dave Watson went in and out like a bull at a gate, wrong-sided, unbalanced, and he was let off the hook.
Neal played forward. If Barnes can get in behind Donachie this time. Donachie doing well. Oh, now he's pulling away at Tony Curry. This time he's allowed it to go, and it's a goal kick. The first advantage the referees played in the match, and it could have brought England something, but Tony Curry just played that a little too firmly. going in, and Mills went in as well, and a yellow card for Joe Jordan for the challenge on Mick Mills, which we shall see again here.
He's certainly going past the ball, Joe, and he feet up and way past it. It was certainly Mick Mills' ball, that.
But I had the impression that Mick's feet were also fairly high there.
They were fairly high, the pair of them, but I think Joe was just a little bit second on it. Only he would really know. But he's got punished, he's got the yellow card, and he's got a long game to go through now, because Joe needs to have a clean sheet. If he has to play with the yellow card hanging over him, it's going to stop his aggression, and he's pushing and he's charging in for these balls, because if he makes one more mistake, he's off. And I wouldn't know how that would affect him in Argentina.
Well, he'd missed the next international game, presumably, Jack, but certainly he's under tremendous pressure in any case from Derek Johnston. And if it's Joe's natural game to go in, as you put it yourself, a bull at the gate and frightening a few people, with one yellow card he can no longer do that in this game. It reduces his effectiveness.
For that reason, I can see him putting Johnson on.
Three to 1 there as Wilkins tried to make something of it. Oh, he's given a free kick to England again. Mills, having recovered from that challenge with Joe Jordan, floats it there. Phil Neal was right in there. Masson getting it away. Mills playing it for Curry. Now for Coppell. Deep across this, and nobody there for England. Willie Johnston's there for Scotland, though. Beautiful. Hartford. And now Jordan, taking it in his stride. Clemence came out, has gone back. Mills has come across there. The ball played in, and Hughes has lost it. And Clemence gets down there quickly before Rioch. And England were in a lot of trouble there after Jordan made that tremendous break. Now it's with Wilkins for England. Barnes. Played for Francis. Cutting inside Masson. And a goal kick. Burns. And Donachie, who in fact does miss the first World Cup game against Peru. He's still under World Cup suspension. Challenge on the back by Donachie on Steve Coppell. A free kick for England.
The players can sense this referee, you know. He's upsetting everyone on the park there now. They don't know what to expect. That was a nasty one by Kenny Burns as well.
Kenny Burns' feet were high on Mariner. Another free kick for England. Curry with the kick. Floated towards Alan Ruff. It's got to be his ball. Picked it out of the air almost casually, but that throw wasn't very good. Barnes to Wilkins. About 8 minutes to go now to half-time. Curry again. Mills. Phil Neal on that far side, and Barnes offside. It's a fairly shapeless game at the moment, Jack, isn't it?
well, it's not been allowed to flow by the referee. The England have got no pattern to their play at all. You keep looking at it and wondering, you know, what are they doing? Where are they playing? Where's their strengths? What are they trying to create? And there's nothing here. They're just going through the motions of playing. Scotland at least have got an idea of what they want to do.
Here's Burns. Masson. That'll come for Willie Johnston. Dalglish in the middle. Rioch coming up fast. Supported by Donachie. But Masson losing it to Trevor Francis. He's supported in turn by Coppell. Wilkins allowing it to run through, but there was nobody behind them in a white shirt. Wilkins. Now Burns. England, of course, requiring a draw, and only a draw to make sure of taking the home international championship. Standing at 0-0 with 5 minutes to go to half-time, and Scotland getting a throw now with Willie Johnston. Joe Jordan right up there, and Tony Curry got it away. Dalglish couldn't quite gather it up. Kenny Burns spraying it out this time for Stuart Kennedy. Running Mills getting in his cross, and Watson and Mills between them getting it back.
Joe Jordan has won everything in the air off Watson at the moment, up to now. And he's causing all sorts of ones, because the little things that he's flicking on and making happen for other people. That was a great chance for Scotland there. If the ball had just fallen a little bit more kindly for them.
Now here's Masson playing it through again towards Jordan, and what a mix-up! Somehow they got it away, but Jordan is creating problems all along the line at the moment. So is Willie Johnston, and the header going down there, and they're claiming a handball as Kenny Dalglish headed that ball down. And England have got away with it. The referee wouldn't even consider a penalty. Mariner now. But a good spell this for Scotland. Hartford. Well, it's an amazing game down there at the moment. Now Francis trying to get Mariner away, but the Scots have been absolutely in command at the back this afternoon, and Kenny Burns coming away again for them. Considering they're without McQueen, it's hardly noticed, and now Hartford playing it again for Dalglish. Does Scotland come forward again, and no foul there. Dalglish claims he was obstructed by Neil.
That was probably the best refereeing decision of the game. He had lost the ball, Kenny. He didn't intend to play it there, and he tried to get away with him. An indirect free kick, but the referee wouldn't have it.
Burns again, masterful in the air. Wilkins. This is Donachie. Tucking it in for Masson. Flicked on for Hartford. Now for Rioch. Scots coming forward, pouring trouble towards England again now. Kennedy. Rioch. Dalglish turning. It's with Rioch again. Flicked in again towards Joe Jordan, and that's an easy, safe catch for Ray Clemence. Curry. Oh, that was a challenge on the back of Trevor Francis there by Tom Forsyth. That has put Francis in trouble.
It was a bad tackle by Tom Forsyth. He went right through the player and the ball. But the Scotland have surprised me. They've really played well, and have put the game together tremendously, especially across the midfield.
Now the referee is insisting that the free kick is taken with Francis injured, and that could be... he's so inconsistent, it's unbelievable. Francis could well be in trouble from a very heavy tackle from behind. whereas he has meticulously allowed trainers to come on previously, no, this time not. The back pass from Mills. And England with Tony Woodcock warming up, which is interesting, so maybe there's going to be a variation up front very soon.
Well,
Jack.
I think there wants to be, because the two England strikers have done nothing for each other at all. Man, they haven't had any service from the midfield either. And you can only play if you get the service.
Dalglish playing it through. Beautiful service this time for Rioch, except that Rioch is offside.
See, that's exactly the way Scotland are winning the game. The midfield are winning possession, they're controlling it, and they're serving balls so that the two forward players can get onto them and causing them defence problems. But England have not won anything in midfield yet, not created anything. Consequently, Francis and Mariner aren't being brought into the game in the way that they should be. Got to do something about the midfield.
Rioch. And a free kick to Scotland. Ironic cheers from the Hampden crowd. Hartford, played for Rioch. Kennedy linking up. Good spell this for Scotland. Clemence under pressure, good safe catch. In fact, he wasn't under any pressure from Joe Jordan, just maybe from the occasion, and that was all. But he's a good experienced keeper. He took it well without any problems at all, and here's Mick Mills now for England. Played on for Curry. Mills linking in again. Stopped though. And Curry going in a bit hard there on Forsyth. But he's given a free kick to England.
Actually, I didn't believe what I saw there. I thought Tony Curry kicked away at the ball and finished up kicking him in the arm.
I think that's what Tom Forsyth thinks it was as well.
Is that what he's holding? I can't see from here.
Here we are, Jack.
Johnny Curry turned out and just had a whack. Kicked him in the arm and the ball. He must have seen the arm there. The referee was looking at it and did nothing.
Derek Johnston is down on the track, waiting to warm up, which will please a lot of Rangers fans here today. But Forsyth is okay. England get a free kick. We're in the last, in fact, we're in time added on for injuries and stoppages. Now, can England strike right on half-time? Curry with the free kick. Watson, well, hooking it back again towards Peter Barnes. He tried in turn to hook it back once more. Here's Rioch. Played back carefully to Ruff. Kennedy, long ball forward. Hughes heading it away. And a handball against Tony Curry. A free kick now to Scotland. Referee looking hard at his watch again. Masson playing it in. Here's Rioch. The last seconds of the first half now. Hartford. Dalglish turning. And will Masson make it? No, he won't. Because Watson on the ground got it away. And here's Curry again for England. Played for Wilkins. Mills. Francis. And Ruff stopping the ball going for the corner. Again, the referee looking at his watch. He could have been called out there, Kennedy. Francis was very quickly in there. Good throw by Ruff, though. As the whistle goes for half-time, a goalless first half, dominated in many ways by Scotland. England showing nothing at all in terms of cohesion going forward, and once or twice looking a little muddled at the back as well. So at Hampden Park, it's a goalless first half. Scotland 0, England 0. We're going to take a short break, and after that break we should be getting the views of Ian St John with Dickie Davis. We'll be back. they've made no substitutions at all as far as I can see. Yes, Joe Jordan is back on again, who really has terrorised England at the back, the big Scottish number 9.
I would think it's almost certain that Johnson will come on fairly quickly in the second half. I hope he does. Take a bit of pressure off England.
Well, England coming out now, and don't see any changes. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 of them. No, it's Coppell, Curry and Emlyn Hughes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We are starting the second half with the same England 11 that played the first half. So 0-0 at the moment. Reminding you again, of course, that it's a draw that England require, and that's all to win the home international championship.
Looking at it, Brian, you know what I would do? I would bring Greenough in and play him at the back alongside Watson and shift Emlyn Hughes up into the midfield. Because he is an out-and-out good midfield ball winner. He's played there a lot for England.
Well, that's a variation that is still open to Ron Greenwood as we start this second half, and instantly it's a free kick for Scotland. Dave Watson with his feet too high. Scotland with 2 draws so far in this home internationals. They've had all 3 games here at Hampden Park. A draw against Northern Ireland last Saturday, then against Wales, both 1-1 on Wednesday. With 3-1 against Wales last Saturday and a 1-0 against Northern Ireland on Tuesday, and 0-0 here at Hampden Park as Hartford takes this free kick. And McMills getting it away before Kenny Burns could get in there. Dinked back again by Masson. Neal away this time for England. Curry. Well, that's let Dalglish in. Joe Jordan is waiting in there, but the ball was played, not a good piece of play that by Dalglish, played in straight at Clemence. Mills now for Peter Barnes. Mariner, oh, did well there. Can he get through Kenny Burns, though? Played short now for Trevor Francis, and that didn't fall quite quickly enough. Oh, and Forsyth, and Mariner, and a yellow card. As Mariner tried to get that ball back again, his feet were high as Tom Forsyth ducked in. Forsyth, as we see it now, was kicked in the face.
He was a little bit unfortunate to get booked here, Paul Mariner. I don't think he saw him coming. You know, and it was going to be a scissor kick, and the fella came from his left-hand over his left-hand shoulder. A bit unfortunate to get a booking for that. It looked worse than it was, I think.
The referee was also having a word with Kenny Burns there. I don't know whether Kenny had said something that the referee objected to, but certainly it was a yellow card for Paul Mariner. Added to the one that Joe Jordan's already got. And there's a fair bit of stick flying about out there. It's euphemistically, one could call it a very competitive game. But then, was it ever anything else when Scotland met England? Phil Neal then, with the free kick for England. Mariner, with a Scottish defender climbing all over him. Hartford now playing it out for Willie Johnston, the man that Ali MacLeod believes could be a sensation in Argentina. Played inside for Hartford. A lot of experience in this Scottish midfield. Both Rioch and Masson are past 30, and Hartford on the ball at the moment is 27 years old. Jordan tucking it down for Kenny Dalglish. He almost sold a dummy there to Phil Neal, with Willie Johnston outside him. Even in the opening minutes of this second half, the pattern of the first is being repeated, with Scotland looking aggressive and dominant and coming forward hard on England, and England now with a break though with Trevor Francis. Tremendous acceleration across the goal. First time we've really seen Trevor Francis get loose.
That's the first time he's come into midfield, played a ball and gone for the return. And look at the acceleration and pace he's got. This is the strength of Trevor Francis. It surprises me when he plays up along with his back to a centre back, because he's not a good player there. He's a good player doing exactly what he did there, and he's so quick and so good at it.
So you'd like to see him just a little bit behind the front line, Jack, would you?
I think I would like to see him play a lot more with Paul Mariner or some other centre forward, a little bit deeper than him, looking for the knock-offs from him so that he can go through after things. And him be fed the ball, because he's certainly got the pace.
Well, here's Kennedy. Back to Alan Rough. Forsyth. Hughes winning that header cleanly. Curry in turn finding Wilkins. Here's Francis again. Wilkins to Francis. Faced by Willie Johnston. Curving that one in, cut out by Rioch. Well, total misunderstanding there between Hughes and Watson, and I thought for a moment they were going to let Dalglish go through unchallenged. Mills to Barnes. Burns for Scotland. Forsyth to Donachie. Jordan, Watson right behind him. Coppell. Francis, he's let that run, but there was a foul. Must have been Francis backing in on the Scot. Forsyth. A free kick to Scotland. Masson chipping it forward. And that'll come for Dalglish. Watson didn't get it away. And Mills hasn't. Yes, he has. Wilkins is right there. Calmness itself. And England were stumbling about that edge of their penalty area. You felt that there was sure to be a chance for Scotland there somewhere. Curry. Mariner flicked in again. Now can Francis get the boot on this one? Francis coming in again and getting his shot in.
We've got a little bit better build-up in that. We've got English midfield players getting up to support people and knocking the ball and knowing where they were knocking it. That's really one of the first good build-ups we've had to a game. Trevor ran into a good position. He's always trying to finish himself. I wish he would think about knocking balls across the face occasionally, because that's where we'll score a goal against these lot today, if we can think about it.
You mustn't call them these lot.
Well, these Scots, I meant. I'm sorry about that. But the boy at the right, if Ali McLeod had any problems about his right back, he's got a good find in this kid,
Stuart Kennedy.
He's
Yes.
done extremely well, and although...
Well, he knows him well because he was at Aberdeen with him, of course, with Ali.
That's right, but he's a good player, and he's done a good job on Barnsley today. In fact, Barnes hasn't had any sort of a service, but mainly because this boy stuck so close to him.
Right, here's Donachie. Chipping it forward again. Joe Jordan up there giving Dave Watson a few problems. Phil Neal putting it into trouble. Rioch hitting it again. My word, they're doing some strange things, this England defence today.
They're getting pushed, and they're getting harried, and they're doing silly things. That was a dreadful ball from Phil Neal. It was one, either you hump it up the field out of the way, or you give it back to your goalkeeper, but you don't play it square across your face of your box like that. That's the first rule in the game you learn at the age of 5.
Mariner jumping for this one, but it's Kenny Burns' head that makes the contact. Mariner going in on Hartford. Wilkins going in on Hartford. Here's Coppell. Chip forward again for Mariner. Forsyth is there for Scotland. Francis. And again, Burns is there for Scotland. And no chances taken there by Kenny Burns. So Tony Curry. Longish throw towards Mariner at the near post. Dalglish. Yes, Watson's feet were too high. Free kick to Scotland. 8 minutes of the second half gone, no score.
Dave Watson hasn't had the sort of game we would have expected of him today. He's been under a lot of pressure from Joe Jordan and Kenny Dalglish, but he still sticks to the job, and he's challenged for everything, and he'll keep going to the finish. I would like to see a little bit more from Coppell. We've seen very little of him today.
Throw to Scotland. So Willie Johnston. Short this time because Masson had come to be served from that throw. Donaghy playing it inside very accurately for Masson. Hartford now. Back for Willie Donaghy again. To the other Willie, Johnston. Donaghy, Masson. Getting an English player, Phil Neal. It's Hughes to Curry, and again, this time they're getting out of trouble with skill, as Curry now can come streaming forward for England. Francis has made a break, and he's told Curry where to put it, and Curry has delayed. That wasn't really where Francis wanted it, and it broke down. A ball played earlier over the heads of the back four for Francis would have been perhaps much more productive. And that's what Francis was looking for. Barnes now, but it's Kennedy. Well, Scotland have lost Danny McGrain, but they've found Stuart Kennedy, and there's a great run by Kennedy, and Watson in a bit of trouble, and England in a bit of trouble until Hughes plays it back to Ray Clemence. But what a break by Stuart Kennedy.
Yeah, it was a tremendous break. The lad's done very well today, and there's not many people can outrun Barnsley like that. And he really went past him, and the ball he played in was a bit of quality. Dave Watson didn't really know what was happening, and he got away with just a touch.
Jordan finding Johnston. And he ran straight into the Englishman. Well, I don't really see there was much Dave Watson could have done about that. Willie Johnston was going like a train, and he kept on going like a train and ran straight into the big English number 5. I think may have hurt himself as well, but it's a free kick for Scotland. There's Masson, straight through to Clemence. Burns. Hit forward again towards Joe Jordan.
We said before the game about Joe Jordan being the one to stretch the English back to centre back too, and he's done it the whole game. He's run well down left and right sides, and he pulls people about, and he played that ball in, and he was justified in wondering why there wasn't anyone there at the end of that, because it was a good break by him and a good ball in.
There he is again, playing wide on the right this time. There was a shove in the back on Dalglish by Hughes, but the referee played the advantage, but he didn't then. And a free kick to England for the foul by Dalglish on Tony Curry.
When Tony Curry's in this mood, he wants to do everything himself on the ball, and he slows the whole rhythm and pattern of the game up. And I wish he would just get on with it a little bit faster. Never let people play.
And now played inside for Barnes if he can get there, but the French linesman with the yellow flag, halted play, and it's a free kick for Scotland. Offside. Burns to Donaghy. Good header that time by Emlyn Hughes, sticking close to Kenny Dalglish. Now Hartford letting it run, but Hughes again judging that well. A nice safe pass back. Burns being hustled by Coppell. And a free kick given. Shame the referee didn't play the advantage there, because Scotland were in possession. Donaghy with it. coming up to a quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Jordan v Watson. Wilkins getting it to Neil. Francis being hustled by Forsyth. Now it's with Watson, and now with Mills. A little chip towards Mariner. It'll fall for Peter Barnes. Kennedy at him though. Barnes just nicking it in there, but look at Hartford coming in again. Why, Mills waited for the ball to come. Hartford was there and striking, finding Dalglish. And now Hartford making the... Kennedy. Hartford. A little chip again towards Joe Jordan. Could be interesting. Knocked in again there. Mills just got his head to it before Dalglish could get in. Mills playing it to Wilkins. Barnes has gone more inside now. Now he's come out a little wider. But total misunderstanding again as England come forward.
This is one of the bad things about this English display this morning. They've good target men are from people prepared to run and chase, and yet the service from midfield has been atrocious. They've not had any support at all, the front two England players, and they're going through the motions and getting nothing at all. He's got to bolster this midfield up and give them an opportunity to have a little bit more time to serve the ball for these. Otherwise, we're just going to set back and settle for a draw.
I don't think that's Ron Greenwood's style, though, Jack.
I don't think so, and I would think Ron will do something about it fairly soon.
Precise header. Hughes. Mariner. Been chasing a shadow all afternoon. The shadow of the ball. Barnes. Curry on it. The Scots are certainly not allowing anybody to do that today. Forsyth with the chance to play it back to Alan Ruff. He really has had to make one good save today. That was from Steve Coppell in the first half. And one or two catches under a bit of pressure, Ruff. Other than that, a very quiet game for him. But now here's Rioch. Johnston. Played in firmly there towards Dalglish, and it's a couple of times in this game that Kenny Dalglish's control has deserted him when he's usually at his most devilish in the opposing penalty area.
It's interesting to see that Hartford and Rioch have changed positions for a while. Hartford's now stopped breaking down the right-hand side a little bit, and Rioch's going on his natural left side.
Willie Johnston with the long throw for Scotland. Joe Jordan is up there again. Emlyn Hughes is getting in there, and a goal kick given.
They've a good pattern in midfield when they've got Hartford and Rioch who go and chase people and make contact forward. And Don Masson does a great job because he just sits in behind them and picks up all the loose balls and the loose people.
Mills planting it forward again. But Mariner quite easily beaten in the air by Forsyth. Here's Curry. Now a bit of space for Barnes. But as he comes towards Kennedy, Hartford was also in there. The long ball swept wide now for Coppell. Now for Curry, onto the left foot. Is this a chance of a shot? Long clearance there by Ruff. Well judged, knocked on by Jordan. Dalglish is hoping to get in behind them. Watson is down. Jordan now, and they've got blue shirts coming up fast, but not that far in. And a good throw by Clemence sends Curry on his way. Barnes out wide. Francis going through the middle. Peter Barnes versus Stuart Kennedy. But always there's good support in this Scottish defence. That time Forsyth backing up Kennedy. And here's Masson now. Still 0-0. Kennedy for Scotland. Mills, Wilkins. And an offside. There couldn't have been much in that. Donaghy. Cut out by Coppell. Had so much of the game and nothing at the moment to show for it, Scotland. Here's Francis. It'll be too high for Mariner and it'll fall for Stuart Kennedy. He's done nothing wrong this afternoon. Now Dalglish. Supported by Willie Johnston. Donaghy going outside him. Played for Dalglish, waiting for the ball, robbed by Curry, gets it back from Curry. And a throw to England. Now, can Mariner get in behind them this time? Not with big Forsyth there, back again to Ruff.
There was a bit of a question mark about the two centre-backs, especially Forsyth before the game. A lot of people wondered if he was up with this. But him and Kenny Burns have played remarkably well today.
Here's Donaghy. 25 minutes to go now as Willie Johnston throws that one across there towards Joe Jordan, and Hartford was right in there, but he hit it straight at Ray Clemence, whose throw, if anything, was just a little too quick and not accurate enough. Burns playing it for Masson. Again, the Scots are coming forward. Masson telling Johnston to go right forward there, but that's cut out by Phil Neal. As I say, Jack, they've had so much of the game, they've had nothing to show for it, Scotland. How much longer can they keep this spirit and aggression going, do you think?
I don't know. That was the best chance of the game. It fell beautifully for Hartford, and he tried to keep it down, hit it into the ground. Unfortunate.
Now Barnes for England. To Trevor Francis, driving it wide.
Certainly, there's no way you can see England winning this game. There's a load of ways you can see Scotland winning it. Because there's been a difference of chalk and cheese today, there's no comparison in the two teams. And people watching the game must have great hopes of Scotland because they do look a very well-balanced team.
I was just going to ask you, from what you've seen today, does that give you greater optimism for Scotland and Argentina?
Certainly. You know, they're a well-balanced team and they've got a lot of good players who aren't playing here today, so they've got a very strong squad.
Now it's with Jordan, who's been as strong as anybody for Scotland today. But Watson is there for England. The ball played short for Neal. Now for Curry. On for Wilkins. Here's Barnes. Taking it up to Kennedy. Kennedy already being supported, you can see there, by Asa Hartford. Supported each other so well this afternoon, Scotland. It's been a tremendous team effort by them. But as yet, nothing to show for it other than 0-0, which will suit England, because that'll give them the championship. Now Wilkins. Barnes trying to get in behind the fullback this time, but again, Kennedy was right there. Masson playing it short for Hartford. Now for Dalglish. Hartford again. Oh, a beautiful ball if Masson can keep that in. And he can. Jordan's waiting in the middle. So was Mills. A poor cross. Oh, that's not a good throw, though. And Rioch was in on Coppell, and Coppell is in pain. And that was a throw by Ray Clemence that was always going to put Steve Coppell in trouble.
Yeah, they're closing down in the midfield very, very quickly, the Scottish. I do say Scottish, not Scotch. The Scottish. And
I think Ray Clemence there realises that throw of his put...
You don't throw balls to people in midfield who have to turn with it when they've been closed down as quickly as the England midfield players are. And
Here we are, Jack.
Coppell was always going to be second here. Look at that. I mean,
yeah, you can just see that.
You got that almost as the ball arrived. If he had been a yard earlier, he'd have pinched it off Coppell altogether. Dreadful throw from Ray.
So the Scottish bench. Derek Johnston and Archie Gamble, you can see there. Sandy Jardine in the back. Joe Harper there. And Brian Greenough warming up for England.
he's got his bottoms off, Brian Greenwood. So for some time, Ron Greenwood must have said to him, get ready to go. Looks as if he's going to go and sit and put him back on again.
Yep, I think that was just a precaution in case Coppell had to come off. Hughes with the free kick for England. Kenny Burns winning everything. Rioch. Donachie. Masson. Johnston. It's a nice ball there from Johnston, and Kenny Dalglish has let it run, turned it back. Dave Watson whacking that one away.
So there's a big difference there. The England players are standing off and letting the Scottish players knock the ball about and keep controlling and pick the ball they want to play. They're not hustling them nearly enough in midfield, like they're hustling the England players.
Forsyth, look at the space here again for Masson. A little chip in there, but this time Tony Curry can drag it away for England again to Wilkins. Played on for Mariner. Neil. Coppell. And no trouble there for Donachie. And certainly no trouble there for Kenny Burns. I think Hughes will get to there before Dalglish. 20 minutes now to go. And still Brian Greenough is warming up. I think it must mean that Ron Greenwood is going to make that substitution. And in fact, it's number 14 who's coming off. It says number 14, but they haven't got a number 14. There must be a mistake on the board there. Yes, I beg your pardon, Emlyn Hughes. Jordan and Curry away. Curry again. Francis in. Mills. I think maybe the Scottish crowd are getting a little frustrated now. They've seen their men in blue have so much of it. They still haven't given them the goal they want to cheer. Kenny Burns, oh my word, he very nearly gave that to Coppell, but he recovered superbly. Wilkins now for England. Mariner, Coppell. Played for Francis. Took too long over it. Certainly longer than Masson was prepared to allow. And here's Dalglish again for Scotland. Big Forsyth has gone right up there. It's Rioch on the ball again as the blue shirts come down on England once more. That may be just a little too firm even for Forsyth. No, in fact, he's got a corner. Off Dave Watson, and Archie Gemmill is also warming up. Emlyn Hughes is coming off, and Emlyn is struggling. So Greenough is on to play in the back four, and Emlyn Hughes holding it back. And it won't be long, I think, before Archie Gemmill comes on as well. He's also got his tracksuit bottoms off. Hughes in a bit of trouble, and of course England play Hungary on Wednesday night at Wembley, which again is a game you can see on ITV that night at 10:30. So we wait for Scotland to take this corner. Hit in low and knocked away by Mills. Coppell fighting for it, winning it as well. Curry. Now what? Well, it could have been trouble. Jack.
He's got to do something about this midfield. Tony Curry's about had it, I think, in this game. He's looking tired now, and he's delaying every pass he makes.
Well, Scotland are making something of a change in their midfield. They're bringing on both Gemmill and Souness. And they're taking off Kenny Dalglish and Bruce Rioch. Although Don Masson is coming off.
Well, I'm really going to turn the screw now.
There's Don Masson coming off.
He's put two
and Bruce Rioch.
Put two very fresh players on. I would think it's a good move. to do this now. He's seen what his midfield's capable of. And he can experiment a little bit now and have a little look.
Says Graham Souness. So Ali McLeod has used both his substitutions. England still have one in the bag if they want to use it. Just Brian Greenough at the moment on for Emlyn Hughes. Dave Watson battling away again. Phil Neal finding Mariner. Now Francis, a little chip in there. Coppell breaking from deep. But Kenny Burns is there to stop him, even though Coppell was tugging at his shirt. And Hartford running into trouble, but nonetheless beating Trevor Francis. Jordan. And it wouldn't come for Gemmell, it'll come for Barnes. The little chip forward. Here's Mills right forward now for England. Well, the French linesman on the far side, I'm afraid, was a joke then. Mariner was clearly offside and he delayed for a long time before he put his flag up. The referee ignored him, and England have Trevor Brooking warming up now, so it looks as though they are going to change their midfield. There's Brooking. And if Jack is to be believed, it could well be Tony Curry who comes off.
Not necessarily Tony Curry. I think he's more likely to bring a winger off at this stage. Probably Coppell. He wants an extra man.
No,
in
it's
midfield.
Mariner coming off. It's Mariner coming off. Well, there was a nudge there by Phil Neal on the back of Willie Johnston. And it'll be a free kick for Scotland. Souness putting it in there. Jordan with the jump, and it's over the back there, and a goal kick for England. So Paul Mariner will be coming off now, and Trevor Brooking is about to come on.
Well, it had to be one of his obviously one of his forward players, but I would have thought Coppell maybe. But it needs Trevor Francis to go alone up front. I don't like to see that.
That's how we stand with 15 minutes to go, 0-0. Tell you at the start of the afternoon that in 95 full internationals between England and Scotland there have only been 2 goalless draws. Maybe that was the kiss of death. It's 0-0 now as we come to the last quarter of an hour, but here's Jordan trying to get Dalglish away again. Johnston, Donachie, Souness. Jordan battling away again, but that time it was Watson's ball. Wilkins now. Brooking couldn't get a hold of that one at all. It's, as we've said before, it's so difficult. So it's a free kick for Scotland. Now with Souness. And Watson again winning it well in the air. Souness again. Hartford. Oh, a lovely ball played for Stuart Kennedy. Now England could be in a bit of trouble there. There are plenty up, and Coppell was right back. Souness. And England get it away. Brooking challenged hard though by Hartford. Johnston going past Neal. Played it again for Gemmell, for Johnston. Greenough only half stopping him. Dalglish trying to turn, no penalty there. Wilkins playing it almost casually for Brooking. And Francis surely was inside his own half when that ball was played forward to him.
The linesman was miles behind the play there. He put his flag up when Francis had got a ball and was way offside, but He was looking completely the wrong direction when the ball was played. Terrible decision by him over there.
Donachie playing the ball in. Now, Jordan. Curry after him. Jordan handing him off there, almost rugby style. Oh, what a good ball, though, for Gemmell. And chipped in again, and Neil getting it away for England. Had there been a Scot on that far side, that really invited a winning hitter. Hartford. Mills just touching it off for Curry. Well, Scotland have 11 minutes left to get a goal to snatch a share of the championship.
We said, you know, that Scotland wanted a good performance out of this game, and I think we've had a good performance from Scotland. I don't think people could have asked for better, because England have got some quality defenders, and they've had to defend the whole game.
Now Donachie. Well, can Scotland snatch it in the 10 minutes that remain? Now it's Kennedy. And Curry giving away the corner. Johnston crossing it in. Wilkins getting it away. Brooking trying to get there before Souness. Curry could be in trouble, in fact.
That was legitimate. That was good of Willie Johnson. He chased him. He chased him and chased him, Curry there, and he got him in trouble, and Curry got away with it with a foul. I wouldn't have given a foul for that. He put himself in trouble and got away with it by getting a free kick.
Wilkins. Forsyth. 9 minutes to go. Watson. Souness. Free kick to England. And Mills to Barnes. Barnes with the cross in there. Will it come for an England player? It'll come for Wilkins. It'll come for Curry. Just look how Hartford is fighting there to prevent England getting in a shot. Now it's Barnes. Floated in there again, and Ruff's in trouble, and Coppell has put it into the net, and England are in the lead.
It's an amazing game, this. Alan Ruff came there. He's had nothing to do in the whole game. Simple cross.
That's an amazing turnabout. Here we go, Jack, from behind that
it's a very
goal
simple cross, and he should have come and taken it, and he waited and came too late. Drop for Coppell, and England are winning the game 1-0. They don't deserve to be involved in.
to square it up. Now it's with Donachie. Jordan's there, and Hartford trying an overhead kick. Barnes not really getting it away. Now Jordan. Kennedy. Oh, Kennedy did well there. And Brooking got it away.
Well, England have got a 1-0 win. They're going to get a 1-0 win, it looks like, and they have battled and they've chased against a very good squad. To win the game is ridiculous because they've never really put the game together at all going forward, England. But the Scottish can still come out of this with a lot of glory.
They may not see it that way, Jack. They do like to beat the English, and
well, they do, but Ali left himself an excuse, you see. He brought off his 2 midfield players who have been doing so well, and he introduced 2 more, so he's upset the balance of a team that were doing well until then. So he could say if I hadn't brought them off, we wouldn't have lost. He's left an excuse.
it's with Barnes. Brooking. Hustled out of that ball by Kennedy. It's a free kick for England. 6 to go now.
Do you realise that was possibly the first cross of any quality that Barnes has put in the whole game? And the fact that young Kennedy's played so well.
Brooking now. That wasn't far from Francis getting a free header at the Scottish goal.
He's played so well, and it has to come down his side of the field for the winner. Well, what looks like it might be the winner.
Wilkins challenged and beaten by Graham Souness. Dalglish playing it back for Donachie. Now for Scythe. Kennedy, Souness. A little chip going in there. And headed just wide there by Asa Hartford.
I feel sorry for Asa because he's by far the man of the match in his game. Look at his position he's getting forward for that little chip from Graham Souness and having another header. That's 2 I've seen him do. He doesn't normally do that in a season.
Giving the ball this time to Curry. Now it's with Wilkins. Here's Coppell, the man who scored the only goal. We're inside the last 5 minutes now. Watson in first for England. Kenny Burns backing away there. Challenged by Francis, but not beaten by him. Souness. Dalglish, hopeful of getting in behind. And it took a brave challenge in the end from Clemence, his Liverpool teammate, because Brian Greenoff had sold him just a little bit short.
What a magnificent ball that was from Graham Souness. Must have travelled all of 30 yards. Pinpoint pass to Kenny Dalglish. He was a bit unfortunate. It just kicked inside him a little bit to stop him getting in what would have been a first-time volley. And he had to take it on. It's a great ball. I'm saying some nice things about these Scottish people today. I don't know what's up with me. Yet I seem to be taking no pride out of this victory at all.
Souness back to rough, and disappointed though the Scottish fans are, it's incredible. The banners and the flags are up all around as though they're not losing 1-0 but winning 4. Tremendous support. I suppose there's any nation playing football that gets better support, more wholehearted support than this. Look at them, they're 1-0 down against the old enemy with about 3 minutes to go. And the crowd are really behaving as though it's a famous victory. Fantastic. Now it's Neil for England. Going all the way, no, he's stopped by Donachie, that's a free kick. Their team may not be the winners today, but the Scottish fans most certainly are. A little under 2 minutes to go. Neil. And again
again, Stuart Kennedy pushing a header back to Ruff. Mind you, they're singing about we're going to Argentine, and that may be a taunt for the English. Souness. Forsyth. Donaghy. Played in towards Coppell. Oh, and Dalglish has left. No, it's a foul on Brian Greenough by Kenny Dalglish. And just when it looked very dangerous for England, they instead get the free kick.
When you consider, you know, of all the Scottish pressure, Ray Clemence, apart from the one he tipped that hit the bar early on in the game, hasn't had a save to make. One or two to pick up, but there's never been a shot from Scotland, which may be something we should look at a little bit harder. Because the rest of the game's great. Maybe their finishing is going to let them down a little bit.
Barnes playing it in first time for Brooking in the last minute of the game now. Brooking, left foot cross, Kenny Burns cutting it out. Curry couldn't collect it, Hartford can. And here we are with Jordan. Given away though to Coppell. Here's Wilkins. Wide again for Brooking. Back for Barnes. Wilkins. On my watch, a matter of seconds left. And Mills, well, do you remember Donaghy? Well, that's played a lot more carefully.
I won't see one of those today, not from the England players. They all saw it as well and had a good laugh, I'll bet.
Souness for Scotland. This has got to be almost the last attack for them. Dalglish being challenged, but still finding Hartford with a beautiful ball there, beating off that challenge of Greenoff's. There's his cross going in, and Watson performed heroically for England there as Archie Gemmill arrived late. It's a throw to England. Maybe the last crisis is over now for Ron Greenwood's men. And maybe they're going to get 3 wins out of 3 in the home internationals. And in fact, it's all over, and it is indeed a victory for England. A defeat, but a lot of credit for Scotland, and Emlyn Hughes has gone on to the pitch there to shake hands with the Scottish team, wishing them well in Argentina. The next time they kick a ball in earnest, it's going to be in the World Cup a fortnight today against Peru in Cordoba. And let's hope they can show some of the form they've shown today, and maybe some better finishing. 2 Liverpool men there, Emlyn Hughes and Kenny Dalglish. Emlyn delighted with the win, and Kenny Dalglish no doubt delighted with Scotland's overall performance.
Like we say, Ali left himself with an excuse, but he didn't need one today. I mean, I felt a little bit proud of Scotland because they battled every inch of the way, but so did England. And football's about who scored the goal, and England were the ones that did it. All in all, I'm looking forward to seeing Scotland in Argentina now because I think they'll do well.
They showed determination, they showed a lot of skill, they showed a tremendous amount of teamwork. The only question mark today possibly was against their finishing. But England have won this game by a goal to 0, scored by Steve Coppell, and so it is that it's England and not Scotland who win the battle between the old enemies here at Hampden Park today. The final score then, Scotland 0, England 1. We're going to take now another short break.
And welcome back to Hampden Park. 6 minutes after the end of play, no one has left the terraces because Scotland are out to say goodbye to the 85,000 fans here at Hampden that have been cheering them through this 90 minutes. Of course, we know they've lost by 1 goal to 0. We'll get a feeling about that from Ian St John in a few minutes because I know that he feels that injustice has been done. But the Scottish fans don't seem to worry too much about that. They still are solidly behind this squad as they leave Hampden Park. Of course, they leave for Argentina on Thursday. Joe Jordan waving to the crowd there. Alan Ruff, the man who perhaps fumbled that ball and allowed England to score, following in behind him. A dejected look on his face. So they go back in, and perhaps the flag waving will now just about finished. Well, Ian, as I say, an injustice has been done. Scotland have lost, and yet they dominated the game. Give us your own impressions of the game.
Of course, Scotland did dominate the 90 minutes. I don't think England had a real clear-cut chance in the game. The goal was a result of a mistake, if you like. But having said that, Jack had said it towards the end of the game that, you know, Ray Clemence didn't have any chances. So at the end of the day, we've got to look at ourselves and say we created situations, but we didn't hit the ball in the framework. We didn't get shots on target.
Well, painful though it may be, let's have a look at that goal again. It was, as Jack had suggested, from perhaps the first decent cross that Peter Barnes had offered.
Peter Barnes, who had done nothing the whole day, as I said, I thought he might have been overawed. Crossed a good ball in here, goalkeeper gets it and then loses it, and Stevie Coppell's in like a flash. The goalkeeper attempted to, you know, try and save it again, but there you are.
There have been criticisms of Scottish goalkeepers before. Alan Rough is not free of that criticism.
Well, I think we can go back a few years about Scottish goalkeepers, you know, but I must say this, that he had been inactive for most of the game, and it's always a difficult thing that all of a sudden you get a cross to deal with like that, and he came out under challenge and dropped it. I'm sure he himself feels that he should have got it.
Well, look, you were saying that Clemence had had a fairly quiet game, but after 20 minutes, Asa Harford, who must be the man of the match, had a great chance to put Scotland ahead. He was certainly, he had a fantastic game, and we can have a look at that. Let's read it over here now, look.
OK, fine. Well, actually, Scotland, throughout the game, got to the byline on numerous occasions. This was another instance where Willie Johnson again got there. Over it came. There's Asa coming in at the back, tried to keep it down and hit the ball into the ground. You know, he got his foot on top of the ball and squeezed it into the ground. But that was the type of chances that we'd been getting throughout the game. But we, as I say, we never got the shots on target.
Yeah, and the ball seemed to be on him too quickly, ready to do much about it.
Well, 9 out of 10, he'd have just stuck that in the net, no problem.
Yeah.
But he obviously felt, well, I'm going to keep it down.
Right, let's have a look at it in slow motion. In fact, we can see exactly how they retrieved the ball from behind the goal.
I thought Willie Johnson had a fantastic game, played very well, got his crosses in today, which was a big part in the game. But here's Asa coming in, and as you see, did well to get over it, but any other day except this one, and it was in the net.
We say that Clemence actually had a very quiet game, and yet when you think of all the trouble that Joe Jordan caused to that shaky England defence in the first half, it does seem strange that they've got nothing to show for it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, you see, Joe Jordan is not a goal scorer. Joe doesn't get many shots on in goal, and Kenny Dalglish today had,
but exactly,
for him, an
Kenny
off
didn't sort of, you know, pick up anything coming from behind.
Kenny had an off day.
Yeah.
The midfield players caused a little bit of concern. They had some shots, but from probably too far out, and as I say, off target, you know, over the top and past the post. But overall, Scotland dominated the game, played very well. Midfield players were all good. Even the two boys that came on settled in. Graham Souness, first-class player, and Ali McLeod has got so many good players that I feel that we've certainly got a chance now in Argentina.
Yeah, you still feel confident about Argentina, do you?
Yeah, and I think it's a great thing. The crowd, although the boys are very despondent, the crowd stayed, wanted them out, and gave them tremendous support. I think it's great for them.
Certainly, they got the motivation. Well, thank you very much, Ian St John. Can I have a look at the table now, just to see exactly what the situation is? England, of course, with a 100% record winning the championship. Wales in second place. That win over Ireland last night, and of course the point against Scotland. Scotland with 2 draws and 1 defeat, that against England today, and Northern Ireland with just that 1 point in 4th place. Right, well, we're going to take a break at this point. We'll be back with all the news and headlines in just a few moments. Welcome back to World of Sport. Well, of course, the top headline of the day was made here at Hampden Park. England defeating Scotland by 1-0 and so winning the home international championship. You'd never know it, that from the number of people still here singing and chanting away and waving their flags. The other headlines from the World of Sport: 5-1 shot Don is a shock winner of the Lock-in Stakes at Newbury after Jellyby unseats jockey Brian Taylor when in the lead just before the winning post. Cricket, openers John Wright and Alan Hill share a stand of 156 after Derbyshire are put into bat by the Pakistan tourists. Wright goes on to reach his century. A century too for Alvin Kalacharan for Warwickshire in the Benson and Hedges Cup. Somerset reached the quarter-final after beating the combined universities by 10 wickets. And finally, golf, Severiano Ballesteros of Spain storms further ahead in the 3rd round of the Martini International. Right, well, let's catch up with our pools check now. The Australian scorer, no-score draws from Bob Colston.
First, the score draws. Number 11, Knox City. 19, Caulfield City. 39, Athena, 50, Bassendean, and 55, Mount Gravatt. And there's just one no-score draw, that is number 34, Windsor.
Right, there are 5 score draws and 1 no-score draw. No claims are required. Dividends will be only moderate. Let's go back to London now and get right up to date with the racing results, starting with the 2:30 at Newbury, the Lock-in Stakes.
First number 2, Don, 5-1. Second number 12, Camden Town, 3-1. Third number 9, Ovac, 16-1, 10 ran. The 3 o'clock at Newbury, first number 1, Lucent, 5-1. Second number 5, St. Petersburg, 9-2. Third number 11, Bright Fire, 8-1, 7 ran. The 3:30, first number 8, Concours, 6-1. Second number 24, Sandy Bay, 8-1. Third number 23, Saylord at 20-1, 19 ran. The 4 o'clock, first number 10, Charlotte's Choice, 8-1. Second 4, Abratzovy, 9-4 favourite. Third number 15, Man of France, 8-1, 11 ran. The 4:30, first number 10, King Alfred, 5-1. Second number 11, Luz Bay, 12-1. Third number 18, Royal Love, 4-1 favourite, 25 ran. Newmarket 2:30, first number 2, Frasino, 9-2. Second number 9, Top of the Class, 6-1. Third number 10, Lady Peg, 7-1, 6 ran. 3 o'clock, first number 2, Double Form, 9-4 favourite. Second number 9, Emperor's Shadow, 3-1. Third number 5, Lord Rochford, 9-1, 6 ran. 3:30, first number 9, Intercraft Boy, 11-2. Second number 5, Twice Rich, 11-8 on favourite. Third number 4, Pontilist, 11-1, 7 ran. 4 o'clock, first number 22, Mixed Applause, 6-4 favourite. Second number 14, Chalumeau, 16-1. Third number 2, Darlinga, 7-4, 16 ran. The 4:30, first number 5, Limos, 5-2 joint